push and go, what you're told to push back, and everybody push back from it. So it is a safe place for children. So I think every child knows to be on that march today.
Yeah! And the kids you always have to stay on the edge of the crowd. I thought it was very well stewarded. Very well put together.
I came in today with my granddaughter Maya. Both her parents are working today. They can't come on the march because their rent has increased in the last 5 years by €500 a month. So I'm here today because they can't afford to pay. I already pay in my taxes, they already pay in their taxes. Why should we pay again? As the demonstration continues, protesters will come and go from the main stage on Merrion Street, where speakers and entertainers will perform for the crowds into the evening. Well, no matter where they came from today or from what background, the people who we spoke to who've attended this event, despite the bitter cold here in Dublin, all seem to say the same thing, that they want the complete abolition of water charges and that they're willing to continue protesting until that happens. Caroline Tuig, at 5:30.
Now, as those protesters arrived from all over Ireland and arrived into Dublin, they joined a number of different feeder marches in different locations around the capital, and all those marches ended up here at this stage here behind me outside Leinster House. And from that stage, the crowds were addressed by a number of different campaigners, activists, politicians, artists, entertainers, even poets, and they all had the same message, that the water charges have to go. Musicians entertained the crowds from the stage as tens of thousands descended on Leinster House. For many, it was their first time attending a protest. Would you normally be out in protest?
Never in my life. Never in my life, but decided to come today because I can't pay it. I am a pensioner. I can't pay anymore.
We've had enough. Enough is enough. We want them out. We want the water charges gone.
This is my first time to come out and protest, but you know, we've been messed over long enough with this government. You know what I mean? Water charges, it's on the start of it.
Some of the placards and costumes on display may have been comical, but the message was serious.
On behalf of the communities
That's our home strong.
on fighting Irish water until it's in the bin. Thank you very much.
That don't have water come to the side of the house and fill up their containers with water. This is where you can go. This is very serious. This is where your country, this is what can happen to Dublin. You don't want this to happen to you.
The government have to stop water charges.
You better work, Shu. Yes, I did. We're recording right now.
Change in relation to the water charges. I need to be quite specific and clear in relation to this. The charges, the package that has been put forward is the best package that is available.
I met that boy. I met that boy on the tree.
The government insists there won't be another climb down.
Brian, the organisers were keen to stress the protest would be peaceful, so was there any trouble today?
Well, Colette, it has to be said here at the main focal point of the protest on Merrion Square, things were very, very peaceful, a family atmosphere, there were a lot of children here, but it should be said there were some pockets around the city where Gardaí did clash with protesters. On the other side of Leinster House here from Merrion Square, on the Kildare Street side, at the junction between Kildare Street and Nassau Street, there were some scuffles between Gardaí and protesters. I'm told that 2 people were arrested on suspicion of public order offences and 1 Garda received minor facial injuries. At one stage the riot squad was put on standby and then stood down. There are also a number of traffic problems in the city this evening. There are still pockets of protesters around the city. One of them is still on O'Connell Bridge, and that's such a central artery. It is causing some difficulties. By and large, however, the organisers will be very happy with this campaign, and on the stage a short time ago it was announced that there'll be another water protest on the 31st of January.
Brian, thank you for that. Well, let's look at the political implications of the charges, but has it misjudged the mood of the country, do you think?
Well, I certainly think that they have to be surprised by the sheer size of today's march, especially given that it was such a bitterly freezing cold day, that it was a weekday, that it's so close to Christmas, and especially given that the government has already done such a huge U-turn and backtracked so much on the whole water charges issue. And make no mistake about it, this was not a case of the usual suspects or the usual activists out on the march today. I was amazed to see so many elderly faces and young families out there too. Now the big question that government TDs are asking themselves now is this the last hurrah? Is this the final sting of a dying wasp? Is the heat going out of this? But if you talk to organisers of the march today, they insist that today's march itself demonstrates that the heat is not going out of it and that they're determined to keep the momentum going. In fact, they're planning another monster march on Saturday, the 31st of January next year, and along with a whole series of local assemblies to take place around the country. So the big fear for many TDs now as they head into Christmas is whether or not, the big fear for them is that this is no longer simply just about water charges. They know that the people are very angry, and they're angry about a lot of things, and they're very angry with Enda Kenny and this government, and they're wondering just what exactly they can do at this point, and they're hoping that maybe the passage of time and the new year will bring them some respite.
Ursula, thank you for that. There's been calls for an urgent independent